Hey y'all, just getting myself together. How y'all doing? Just getting myself together, 'cause I got somewhere to go. And I pray when I get there. That's a Mary Mary, not mine at all. I gotta clarify because they'll come after you for the copyright, even on the YouTube. So welcome to Sip and Say with Stephanie. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you doing, YouTube live audience? How are you doing, podcast audience? I am doing wonderful, glorious, beautiful. Yes, I am. I'm doing pretty good tonight. How are you all doing mentally? How are you doing socially? How are you doing emotionally? How are you doing spiritually? How are you doing physically? I tell you, I am feeling good and feeling like I'm doing pretty well this evening. I had my workout yesterday. I'm steady with my workout. I work out with my fitness instructor 3 times a week. And so she be making me mad. It's my cousin, y'all. Y'all heard me talk about this last week, right? It's my cousin, Snatched by D. You all contact her on Instagram if you want to connect with her and get her to help you with your fitness journey. But it's my cousin, Snatched by D, and she worked me last night. Boy, she works all of me, my upper body. She's working my midsection, my lower body. And I be mad at her. I ain't even gonna lie. I be mad at her at the end of my workout, especially these last few workouts. She been making me mad, but I know it's gonna be for the benefit. And I'm serious, y'all. She literally makes me mad. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Look, and I told her last night when we worked out, I talked about you on my show last night. I mean, my show last week is what I told her last night. And I was like, yes, she be making me mad. But she's she motivates me as we're working out. I think she can sense when I'm feeling tired and when it's like, oh my gosh, I really have to keep pushing, because she's like, keep pushing, keep pushing. Like, she really does encourage me and motivate me as we're going through the workout. And I'm greatly appreciate that. So I thank you, Snatched by D, for helping me. Even though you make me mad, I know you're laughing when I say that because you know me. I'm serious, but I'm saying it in love and fun as well. And so I know I'm going to be feeling really good by the time this year is over. I'm focusing on losing 100 pounds by the end of the year. I'm hoping to lose it by then, but it took me some years to put the weight on. And so I want to be compassionate and kind to myself as I'm working to get the weight off. And so I was praying this, well, talking to the Lord. I talked to the Lord in prayer, and then like I'm just talking to you right now. That's how I talk to him too. And so I was telling God, because you all know I told you last week I'm trying not to eat meat for any meals. Well, twice this week, this is Thursday, so twice this week I did have all my vegetables just from Monday to Thursday. So I started this, I think, last week or the week before. I think it was the last week when I started, if I'm not mistaken. And I did very well until this week. Twice I had meat for my lunch meal and my dinner meal. And then for the times that I ate breakfast, I had meat for all three. And so as I was talking to the Lord, he's like, but you ain't got no plan. The Lord didn't say you ain't got no plan. He was like, you don't have a plan. You ain't got no plan. I don't know his exact words. People say, telling me I don't have a plan in place. Like, Stephanie, how can you expect to follow through on something that you plan for yourself if you haven't written the vision, if I haven't made it plain? So I just mentally said, I'm not going to eat meat in the evenings for my meal, but I haven't planned it out. Like, what vegetable, like what am I going to use to substitute? Am I going to use some hummus? Am I going to eat hummus or tofu? How many vegetables am I going to eat? Like, I haven't made a plan for myself so that I can follow through, maintain, be consistent in this journey of minimizing meat in my life. And eventually I wouldn't mind getting rid of all meat except for bacon. I don't know if I'll be able to give up bacon. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I really want to get to a point where I'm eating less meat and eventually no meat. with some exceptions. Like maybe I'll still eat some. I don't have the plan yet, so I don't know. But right now, my plan is to limit my meats to day hours, whether that's breakfast and lunch or just lunch. So I was just gonna do lunch, but there are sometimes for breakfast I got a pack of bacon. Usually it's bacon in the freezer. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna have me a bacon, egg, and sandwich, bacon, egg, sometimes cheese, but not always. So I don't have to have cheese, but bacon and egg sandwich or just a bacon sandwich. Sometimes I just take the bacon and warm it up and just crunch on the bacon by itself. I don't even need bread or an egg to eat my bacon. And so I have to put a plan in place. So if the Lord blesses me to live to see this weekend, y'all, I'm gonna sit down and put a plan in place so that I make sure that I'm staying consistent because I have my meats because I was hungry. Like I last night when I was coming home, I was so hungry. And I had my meat, like I actually boiled some chicken, y'all. I boiled chicken only a few times in my life. And I was like, I didn't feel like putting the oven on to bake it. It was only a few pieces, so I didn't want to pull out my slow cooker. So I was like, I'm gonna boil this chicken and have some vegetables. So I cooked me some squash and zucchini mix with onion mix. I did cooked some cabbage, and I cooked some green beans, and I had some carrots. And so that's what I had for lunch yesterday. I had my zucchini, squash mix cabbage, my boiled chicken breast, and a few of the carrots. I didn't eat as many, like all the carrots that I took, I didn't eat all of them, but I ate everything. And I was hungry. Like when I was coming home, I was like, I am so hungry. And I knew the vegetables by itself were not going to fill me up. And so I just need to set aside time to set a plan in place so that I can eat healthy, eat as much of a plant-based diet as absolutely possible, but still feel full. And so I'm gonna have to do some research, you all, and putting the plan in place because there are some vegetables I just don't eat. Like I don't eat a lot of corn, which is the starch. But there's certain vegetables I may have to incorporate into my diet. I'm not quite sure. And then I only have blueberries as a fruit right now. I usually keep bananas here, and I haven't gotten any bananas. I usually keep grapes here. So right now my only fruit is blueberry. So I need to start making sure that I'm having some fresh fruit as well, because I have not had any fruit this week except for my blueberries. I'm sorry, I've had blueberries and strawberries this week because I had some blueberry strawberry yogurt. A plain yogurt. I don't do any flavor yogurt. Plain yogurt, add the strawberries and blueberries. So I just have to plan. Might do some meal prepping so that I can be consistent, have a plan in place so I can be consistent, and I'm going to even say committed to what I promised myself to do. And so it's been a journey, you all, and I'm learning as I go, and I'm thankful. I am so thankful that I give myself grace. Like I really give myself grace because that's just who I am. And it was a process for me to get here, for me not to beat myself up. Because when I ate my meats, yeah, it was, I think Monday I did my vegetables, but Tuesday and Wednesday when I ate that meat, I did not beat myself up. I said, oh, well, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. I don't have a plan in place either. Let me get my plan so that I can do this thing right. And the Bible tells us, y'all, in Habakkuk, we need to write the vision and make it plain so that they who run may read it. So that they who read it may run, got that backwards, and get the vision fulfilled. And actually, you all, if you all go back and study Habakkuk, actually it was Habakkuk who prayed that prayer to God, and God just gave him his word back. I don't know if we sometimes may miss that in church, but that word didn't come from God. That word, writing the vision, it came from Habakkuk, and God was just giving him his word back. Oh, come on, somebody! I actually taught about that maybe a year or so ago. It was 21 or 22. Actually, did a teaching about that. But yeah, dig into some Habakkuk because that was his vision, not God's. And of course, God placed it on his heart, but Habakkuk released it first, and then God gave it back to me anyway. When we want to make changes in our lives and want to consistently implement those changes, we need to write the plan down. We need to write the plan down. It's good to have the plan in our head and in our heart, but when we get it on paper, then we can read it, we can look at it, we can be reminded of it. It needs to be written down, typed up or written down so that it can be fulfilled. That is what helps me. I don't know what helps you, but that is what I'm going to need to be consistent and faithful to this promise and commitment that I made to myself. I know I talked about that a lot, so I'm going to move forward. What y'all sipping on tonight? I asked y'all how y'all were doing. Y'all can add it to the chat or add it to the comment section. So that's how I'm doing. I'm feeling good physically. I'm feeling good mentally and spiritually. Socially, I could be doing a little bit better. I haven't been as social since this year has come in, not intentional, but just I think still in planning mode, still getting some things in my life in order, some things that I want to move forward in, some visions that I want to fulfill. So I think I'm still in that planning mode. And so I haven't been as social as I want to, but I'll get there. I'm not too concerned about it. I'll get there. So anyway, what y'all sipping on tonight? I actually have straight up water, y'all. I was gonna get my something non-alcoholic, but I didn't. I have my plain old water because that's what I need to drink. And so I'm gonna take a sip of water. What y'all sipping on? Y'all got some tea, some wine, some non-alcoholic wine, some hot chocolate, so a smoothie. Like what y'all sipping on? I might do me a smoothie when it gets warm. I might do me a smoothie and sip on like me a green smoothie or something. I need to go get me some chai seeds because I haven't made a smoothie in a long time. I don't think I made a smoothie since like 2021 actually. But I've been thinking about like starting making smoothies again. Starting to make smoothies again. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I might start making smoothies again. I take off that ing. I might start making smoothies again, but if I do, I need to get some chai seeds because I love to use ground chai seeds. I would get my chai seeds from Walmart and ground them up and put them in my smoothies. Because sometimes if I left them whole, I could taste the seed in it, and I didn't like that. I didn't want to taste that crunch. I wanted just to drink my smoothie and let it be smooth going down my throat. And so I might restart. Matter of fact, you all, now that I'm thinking about it, you all know that I put out this month, I'm sorry, this is January, so my mind is in February already, y'all. But this month I actually put out a wellness, I'm gonna put my sit down, then I'm gonna get it. I actually put out a wellness newsletter. It's my very first wellness newsletter on my website, stephaniebwell.com. And I put in there my recipe for quesadilla smoothies. I love making, vegetable quesadillas. I said quesadilla smoothies, y'all. My mind is really going right now. So let me slow down. So I put a recipe in my wellness newsletter for vegetable quesadillas and making the pico de gallo if you want to add that to your quesadillas. And so I'm going to actually put the link for the newsletter in the chat so that you can get it. Y'all, it's really good. There are 3 mindfulness exercises that you can practice on your own. I also added the recipe and I added 2 self-care tips. Taking a bath, like doing a tub bath, and then drinking plenty of water. Because when you drink water, that is a form of you taking care of yourself because our body, y'all, needs that H2O. And so yeah, so I'm excited. So maybe, and I said all that to say, maybe I will add a few smoothie recipes in my February or March newsletter. We will see how it goes. If you all have any recipe ideas that you think I should add to the newsletter, please let me know and I'll add those in. I would love to add those into the newsletter. Some of your favorite recipes, and I will give you credit. Like if you want to submit a recipe, feel free to do that. I won't be able to pay you because it's a free newsletter, but I definitely will give you credit for your recipe. Or if you have a dessert or a dish that you think I should make or feature, let me know. I would love to do that. So let me add, I'm actually going to add 2 links. I'm going to add a link to the blog, which features the website. And then I'm going to add a link for the actual website, the actual newsletter itself. The blog featuring the newsletter. I'm going to do the wellness newsletter. I'm adding that to the chat for my podcast listeners. And also, so you all check it out and see what you think about the practices that I've added in the website. I added some mindfulness practices that I never even thought about, like the walking and the eating practices. I never even considered that. But I'm actually part of a wellness network that shares different practices and techniques with us. And so I follow that a lot when I'm doing my social emotional classes, my social emotional classes, but my mindfulness and intention setting classes on Sundays at 7:15 p.m. Feel free to join me. And then my yoga classes on Tuesday. I use a lot of their material as I'm planning and preparing for the wellness classes that I teach. So you are welcome to join me. So you are welcome. Oh, there it is. So I just added those to the chat. And so for those who are listening in on the podcast, I will add it to the description, or you can find it in the description. All right, you all. So let's be well together. Let's get healthy and well together, whether you're focusing on your emotional health this year or this month, your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, your social health, or whether you're working on yourself holistically, that means working on all of you. Do what you need to do to be healthy. Take care of you. Be well. And everything you're getting this year, get some wellness in your life. Take care of you. Okay, that was supposed to be my ending, but so I can give you the beginning and give you the ending a little bit later. Let's get into some news tonight, because I do have a little bit of news, and I have something very interesting that I found out or discovered, heard about, and then did some research about, and I'm curious to know what you all think about it. So my Aunt Wanda, hey Aunt Wanda, she says she is sipping on some good old H2O tonight, some water tonight. I'm gonna take a sip of my water. And then I only have a little bit of news tonight, you all, but we're gonna get into it. Y'all know I didn't bring my glasses over. Am I gonna need them? Yeah, I better get them. I'm trying to, I forgot to bring my glasses, so y'all know how I do. I'm gonna go get them so I can see. And I know sometimes I be struggling trying to see stuff. And I did not make the words as big as I sometimes do. But yeah, we're gonna put the glass. Praise the Lord for help. Sometimes we just need a little bit of help. Hallelujah. It's a gospel song. All right, so you all, the first bit of news that I'm going to share with you tonight comes from Ohio. So on January 16th, remember last week when I came on the broadcast, I was sharing with you that I was watching the Roland Martin Unfiltered, or not the Roland Martin Unfiltered, but Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. And he was just as I was, because I do listen to him before I come on my broadcast. He comes on at 6 on the Black Star Network. And I enjoy listening to Mr. Roland Martin because he gives us news, Black news, world news, US news. Like, he gives us all the news that we need to know as people, and then as Black people. And he gives us news that a lot of mainstream news outlets do not report, news that affect the Black community, that is about the Black community, HBCUs, everything as it relates to us. Mr. Roland Martin is showing on this show. I know I share this often because I really enjoy his broadcasts and the visitors that the guests, I'll say, that he has on his show. And so if you tune in 6 o'clock on the Black Star Network, Roland Martin Unfiltered, I have no connections with Mr. Martin at all. I just enjoy his show. And if it's something that I feel like will help you, or that, can give you some insight, or just help us, I can just stick with just helping us, then I'm going to share it with you. Okay. So as I was listening to him last week before I came on, y'all remember that's why I was late last time. He was showing or giving us news, and then actually showing the video of Miss Latinka Hancock as she was being the video that I saw that he showed when I tuned in was video by a bystander, and in it you could clearly see there were 2 police officers, and one of them, he was hitting on her in the video, and the other one was pointing something at her that it looked to me, it looked like a taser is what it looked like. But it was a little bit of a distance away, but he was clearly pointing something at this young lady. And so when I watched the short clip of the body cam, the police officer's body cam, it was just a short clip. They're not going to release the body cam, I guess, is in its entirety until after the investigation. But there was a short clip that I was able to see, and in the on the police body cam, you cannot see the officer hitting her, which I think is interesting. So Miss Latinka Hancock, she was at a McDonald's. She ordered extra cheese on her Big Mac, and she found that the extra cheese was not there. She went back in to get the extra cheese. The manager asked the cook to make the sandwich with the extra cheese. Something happened in that I'm not quite clear, because it was two different stories that I was reading about. So I'm not quite clear what ended up happening. One story I was reading about said or that I was listening to rather, said the cook didn't want to remake the sandwich, and then the other one said, or maybe it was the same story, but the one I was listening to, I remember clearly that the cook didn't want to remake the sandwich. He took, I'm not gonna say he took offense, but he or she, I don't even know if the cook was a male or female, but that individual didn't want to remake the sandwich. Whether that's accurate or not, I can't say. And the other report was something. Anyway, it was conflicting reports that I was reading about / listening to. So I'm not quite sure what the altercation was that occurred that caused the McDonald's employee to call the police. Miss Latinka at this time went back to her car to wait for the police because she wanted to give them her side of the story. And in one of the videos that I saw, another video separate from the alleged attack, she's seen talking to the police officers and giving them her story. I don't know how or why it elevated, because the one clip I saw showed her talking. They just talking like we're talking, just talking like I'm talking to you. And then the alleged beating happened, which it was, you could see what was going on. So I don't know what happened between the conversations and then the confrontation. I don't know what happened to the beating. He was wailing on her a couple of times. Based on the video I saw, is what it looked like, and we have to say allegedly. So he was allegedly hitting on her, and the other officer was allegedly pointing whatever he was pointing at her or towards her. So I don't know what happened between those two, sets of videos, but either way, it led the police officers, who were Sergeant Todd Stanley and Officer Tim Zellers. They are currently under investigation at the Butler Township. And their police chief, John Porter, he did do a press conference to talk about this incident that happened, and he was the one that said it was still under investigation. The body cam video would be released after. They showed a short clip during the press conference, but I'm assuming he meant the full body camera video would be released after the investigation. So Mr. Stanley, Officer Stanley, or Sergeant Stanley is his title, he's currently on paid administrative leave. Ms. Hancock has hired a criminal attorney, Ben Swift, as well as a civil attorney, Michael Wright. And so this is what they charged her with. This is where I was going. They charged Ms. Hancock on January 15th. They charged her with resisting arrest and failure to identify. She was also given citations for driving with an open container of alcohol and driving under suspension. So I didn't look this up. I'm assuming there is a law in this particular township that says you have to identify yourself. And the police officers did ask her to identify herself. She initially gave them her last name, and as the confrontation seemed to escalate and they were making the arrest, she gave them her first. She gave them her first name. Either way, these charges have been brought against Miss Hancock, and I told you that I would give you that story so you can have that background. So that's what happened. So you all can, follow that story if you feel it's important for you to know more details about it. I'm curious to know what's going to happen with this. It seems bizarre that a fast food worker would call the police, because she asked for extra cheese on the burger that she paid for. Like, I'm not quite sure again what words were exchanged between Miss Hancock and the workers at McDonald's. Hopefully, once the investigation is completed, we'll get the full report about what happened. But I felt bad for her because of what I saw in the video. Y'all, told y'all last week I do not be watching videos, y'all, because I don't like it. But when I was putting on Roland Martin and doing my little thing and looked up, the video was playing right then. And so it was unfortunate. I don't know why it got to a point where they felt like they had to put their hands on her. And not only put their hands on her, but literally punch. I mean, you can clearly see some hands being thrown by one of the officers. And yeah, we just gonna keep following. We just gonna keep following that case if it is of interest to you. And I think that's all I want to say about that. Just again, wanted to give you all the updates. I told you that I would. All right, you all. So this particular story involves police officers again. So there is a young man. There was a young man, Tyre Nichols, at 29. He was stopped by the police on January 7th for alleged reckless driving. Mr. Nichols allegedly ran. The police chased him. They apprehended him and they allegedly beat him. I definitely did not watch that video. But I inadvertently, see, that's why you got to be careful when you reading. Well, let me say, I got to be careful when reading news stories and listening to news outlets and different things, because I inadvertently saw the picture, or what I think was a picture of him after this alleged beating occurred. It was bad. It was bad. Again, I didn't watch the video, so I don't know. So the 5 officers were fired and have since been charged. So officers Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith. They have been charged with second-degree murder, 2 counts of official misconduct, 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, 1 count of official oppression, and 1 count of aggravated assault. So yeah, so I looked at this, and I wish this precedent happened across the board when a police officer is involved with so let me say this, let me backtrack before I say this. Mr. Nichols was taken to the hospital after he complained about shortness of breath during the arrest. When he was in the hospital, he was listed in critical condition and he passed away 3 days later. And so again, the officers were fired and they were charged with the charges that I just shared with you. I wish it was like that across the board. Police officers getting fired immediately instead of being put on administrative leave, because administrative leave means they're still getting paid. So they getting paid to just do whatever they do, chilling at the house, whatever, they're getting paid. And so, yeah, so I think that should happen across the board. When a person is killed in police custody, especially something that I think, I'm gonna just say, especially something that seems like it was preventable. Like they chased him. It was 5 officers. I don't know why it took 5 officers, but 5 officers, 1 person. Couldn't there have been something couldn't there have been a de-escalation that happened instead of this young man being, killed? Y'all, I know, there have been conversations about police officers needing better training or more training or specialized training. Some things cannot be trained away. You all have heard me say some things, it just can't be trained away. some of our biases, some of our um, thoughts about racism. It just some things are just you cannot professional develop them away. You cannot train them away. You cannot school them or educate them away. They're just there. And so I pray for comfort and peace for the family of Mr. Nichols. All right. And so that was it for the police folks, That's all I have to say about that. So you all, and I want to note, because when the officers are white and the person is black, all 5 officers are black officers, and the young man who passed away was a black young man. So everybody was black in this particular situation. I'm not mad that they fired the police officers, because at this point, the color of the skin don't have nothing to do with it. It's just police officers in general and what they feel comfortable in doing, what they feel justified in doing. And so I'm not mad at all that these officers have been fired and that they have been charged. Again, I wish that this was a precedent that was set across the board as it relates to police officers. You all, I need just a minute. I forgot that my computer was low on charge, because I have been using this bad boy up. And so I went to get my charger. Y'all see that it's just unprepared. Just unprepared, but it's plugged in. Thank you all for giving me those few seconds to get my charger so I can stay in business. All right, you all, this is some interesting news, and I cannot wait to watch this, you all. So, the 1619 Project. Have you all heard of the 1619? I'm going to either buy this book or check this book out from the library, because now I definitely want to read it. When they were talking about it, the book was released in 2019, and I'm going to pull up the website because I want to read to you what it says so that you, I, and all of us will know what the 1619 Project is all about. It was written by Miss Hannah, make sure I get her name correct, Miss Nicole Hannah Jones. It was written by Miss Nicole. Oh, you know what? I didn't pull the link for it, so I'm gonna just look it up. It was written by Miss Hannah Nicole Jones, and it is now going to be, or will now be released as a 6-part documentary on Hulu. And I'm excited to read the book, and I'm hoping to check out the 6-part series. As I was doing my research said that the first 2 parts have been released already. And then I don't know when the next 4 parts will be released, but I am excited to see it. I am excited to read the book because I am going to get it and read it. Because I'm interested. Now I'm interested. I was, like I said, when it was released in 2019, and there was such an uproar from conservatives and those who identify with the Republican Party. It was such an uproar about this 1619 Project. This is not correct. There was an uproar, and I wanted to read it then, but I kind of lost interest, went on to something else. But now that it's being released as a 6-part series, I would love to read the book. To kind of see how it compares or whatever. So based on the description for the 1619 Project, this is the book. It is the book substantially, I'm reading word for word on Amazon.com, the description for the 1619 Project book. This book expands on the work of the 16. Okay, so let me back up because I'm trying to weave through all of this. So the 1619 Project weaves together 18 essays that explore the legacy of slavery in present-day America, with 36 poems and works of fiction that illuminate key moments of oppression, struggle, and resistance. The essays show how the inheritance of 1619 reaches into every into every part of contemporary American society, from politics, music, diet, traffic, and citizenship to capitalism, religion, and our democracy itself. And if you want to read more about it, you can go on Amazon or look for the 1619 Project. I think it's actually a website, that's 1619project.com, I think. Oh, wait a minute, was that it? Hold on, I'm looking. Yes, it's called project1619.org. That I don't know if this, let me backtrack that because I don't know if that's related to the book. So let me backtrack. So you all can check that out for yourself to see if it's related to the book, because I'm not sure based on the picture. It may not be, the two may not be related, but you all know 1619 is the year that the first enslaved Africans were brought over Jamestown, Virginia. The European settlers brought them over, the enslaved Africans or the enslaved people from Africa in 1619. So that's the premise of the year. And so again, that other website may not have anything to do with it. It's just the year, it happened. And it happened in, it was a British colony. It all happened in, I think in late August, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so let me read a little bit about the actual, let me read actually about the TV show that's coming up. And I didn't realize that Miss Nicole Hannah-Jones is a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, which is amazing. So the show is based on the award-winning New York Times long-form multimedia project developed by Hannah-Jones in 2019. It looks at American history through the legacy of slavery and how it still impacts the country to this day, centering on the contributions of Black America. That's reported by ABC News. And so the 6-episode project, it is produced by Miss Hannah-Jones, Miss Nicole, by Oprah Winfrey, and by Roger Ross Williams. And again, as I was reading my report, the first 2 parts have been released. And so check it out. I'm curious to learn, to glean some more about American history. You all, in slavery in America is a part of American history. It is a part of American history that you cannot erase, even though individuals have tried, groups have tried, people have tried. You can't erase your history. Even looking back at your family history that was unpleasant, your personal history that's unpleasant, you can't erase it and say, you know what, just because that was negative, just because that was horrific, I'm going to erase that from my history. I'm only going to focus on the good. The devil is a liar. Your history is your history. The good, bad, the ugly, oh my, it's all a part of your history. And slavery is an ugly, horrific part of American history. You all, let me read this to you all. And I want y'all to, oh, sorry, y'all got to tell me what y'all think about this. I tell me, y'all gonna have to tell me what y'all think. So the former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, this is what he said about the 1619 Project. He said that it misrepresents the founding and history of the United States. He also notes, quote, "This is a dark version of America's birth. I reject it. It's a disturbed reading of history. It is a slander on our great people," Pompeo said concerning the project. I don't know if he read the 1619 Project or if he is going by what others have said about it. I cannot say. But slavery is real. It don't matter whether you reject it or accept it. It did happen. It is a part of American history. So you can just take that how you feel, or you can feel about it how you want and take that like you will. The America was built on the back of enslaved people. Most of those enslaved people being Black and brown people, in particular, Black people. That is the history of this country. It don't matter if you like it. It don't matter if you reject it. The devil, it don't. I'm about to say the devil is. It don't matter if you like it or reject it. It still exists. It still stands. The history still stands. We have the documents. We have the slave narratives. We have the bill of sales. We have the pictures. We have the videos. The documentation is there to say slavery happened in the United States of America. This doggone country was built by killing, by stealing, by oppression. That's how it was built. You came in with enslaved people. You came in, you took over the resources and land of Native Americans, wanted them to conform to your British European way of lifestyle and looking. You built this country was built through the blood, sweat, and tears of Black Americans. Native Americans, you're in there too, but Black Americans. So former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, it don't matter if you reject it, it don't matter if you like it or not, history is history. I'm excited to read and watch the 1619 Project because I want to know the content. I want to know what the essays and the poems are like. And you all, when you do some research about the 1619 Project, you'll see all of the contributors of this project. And so I'm reading, I'm watching to get some more history so I can continue my life education. I told y'all I would make up a song in a minute. Y'all know they trying to bring back Schoolhouse Rock. You know, I watched the preview. I did not know that this was happening, but I saw so anyway, I saw the preview I was watching my Abbott Elementary, even though it was a rerun. It's okay, Quentin Brunson was 2 reruns, but I was glad to get 2 episodes of Abbott Elementary instead of 1. But during the Abbott Elementary, they previewed for the Schoolhouse Rock. I don't really want to see it because, like, y'all, some classics should not be touched. And I think if they're celebrating the 50th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, it's the 50th anniversary of Schoolhouse Rock. You know what? If y'all want to celebrate the anniversary of Schoolhouse Rock, just play the old Schoolhouse Rock. I don't want to see no new people doing it. I don't want to hear no new folks singing the songs. Bring the old Schoolhouse Rock back so these younger generations can learn about history, the American government system, and all the other stuff that you learn on Schoolhouse Rock. Something I remember, it's only a video. I do remember that one. But yeah, so I'm not excited about it. I might go back and watch because it's kind of got me thinking about Schoolhouse Rock. So I might go back and try to find maybe someone posted some YouTube videos of Schoolhouse Rock. So I'll be excited to watch those. But I don't want to see this new stuff. And then I would say some classics should not be messed with. Like Schoolhouse Rock, why y'all messing with that? Just celebrate it a different way. But anyway, they're gonna do what they do. If y'all watching Schoolhouse Rock, when they air it, whenever they air it, y'all let me know what y'all think about it. I, for one, will not be watching. Just like the Lion King, like they did the live action Lion King version, y'all. At first, I was never gonna watch it, but I ended up watching it. I don't know why I watched it, but I couldn't get through it. Like did I watch the whole thing? Let me think. I don't remember if I watched the whole movie or not, but it was a couple of years later. I think I maybe last year or the year before is when I watched it. So I can't remember if I made it through the whole thing or not, but just some classics, just let them be. Like, just leave them alone. So anyway, if y'all watch it, let me know. All right, so I'm done with that, I think, but 1619 Project, get y'all some of that. There was something else. Wait a minute, was there something else I wanted to share? No. And I'm excited that it's being released right a few days before Black History Month. And I'm hoping that the last 4 parts or the next 4 parts will also, will be released because the first 2 are released now, so this January. I hope the next 4 parts will be released in February so I can watch during Black History Month. I also hope that Soul of a Nation is still available because I think I'm going to rewatch that again. I haven't rewatched it in a little while. I haven't rewatched it in a little while, so I may end up rewatching that during Black History Month as well. Like Soul of a Nation is good to watch anytime. It was how many parts do they put? I can't remember how many parts they put in Soul of a Nation, but it was a really good series. If you can watch it, look for it and watch it. It was a 6, 7, 8, some kind of part. And then they added the Green Witch in Tulsa, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They actually added a second part for that, and I think they added another part for Native American history, if I'm not mistaken. See, now I got to look it up. But y'all, if y'all can watch Soul of a Nation at any time, now Black History Month, kind of whenever, watch it. And you all, if you all have not seen Summer of Soul, get you some Summer of Soul. It is so good. Questlove, who's the name his parents gave him, I cannot remember right now, but he actually won an award. I can't even remember what award now, but he won an award for Summer of Soul. It's a collection of videos that he brought together of an event that happened in the summer of, see, now I got to look that up too, because I'm not remembering. Summer of Soul. It was a collection of videos from the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival. And y'all, oh, it's so good. Who's in there? Oof. Mm. I see the artist, and I can't name them. Anyway, I can't even think of who was on it now. Even though I'm seeing all the artists, the Staples Sisters, was it the Staples Sisters? So now I can't think of the artists. Anyway, y'all get y'all some of the Summer Soul. I haven't watched it since I think 2021, so I haven't seen it. I've only watched it twice. I haven't seen it in a while. But it's some good singing in there. Let me see if I can find out who, because now I want to know. Gladys Knight and the Pips were there. So I'm trying, like, who was in there? I'm like looking at the different artists that were in there. Let me see if I can find some of the artists. But yeah, if y'all can watch it, get you some Summer of Soul. Matter of fact, I'm probably due to watch it because just so I can groove to the music. Oh, Mahalia Jackson. I knew it. I was like, gosh, I think Mahalia Jackson. So Mahalia Jackson, the Staple Singers, like I said, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Stevie Wonder. How to forget Stevie Wonder? He actually opened up Summer of Soul, or at least the video that Questlove put together. Stevie Wonder opens up. Sly and the Family Stone. How did I forget? And I knew it was them because I think they were purple. So I was like, it's a Sly. I couldn't think of Sly because I was like, the Family Stone, but Sly and the Family Stone was in it. David Ruffin of the Temptations, y'all. It was really, so get you some of Summer of Soul. All right. So Soul of a Nation. Let me see if I can find how many parts it was. Yeah, I like history. I like learning about history. Sometimes I do forget history because it's not anything that I rehearsed over and over again. So I do be forgetting some parts of history when it comes to me having to retell it. So it's actually, I thought it was 10, but I didn't want to say. It was 10 episodes of Soul of a Nation. It was originally 6 episodes, and they added Soul of a Nation Presents Exonerated, the Murder of Malcolm X, that was a really good episode because it interviewed the gentlemen that were accused of killing Malcolm X, and they spent time in jail. So it talked about their exoneration. And then, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. So it was 6. I don't know where 7 is, but I'm looking at 8. Soul of a Nation Presents Screen Queens Rising, which was good. Episode 9, Soul of a Nation Presents Exonerated, the Murder of Malcolm X. And 55 Years of Justice, and then 10 Together as One, celebrating AANHPI heritage, which is a Soul of a Nation presentation. See, that's why I need to make sure I get my notes. So that's the Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific. So I was wrong. It wasn't the Native Americans by themselves. The Asian Americans and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders was added to the Soul of a Nation series. I don't see season 7 or episode 7 rather. So I'm not quite sure where that one is. But it was released. The Soul of a Nation was released 2021 and the last few episodes in 2022. So I'm looking at it right now on abc.com. So if you want to watch it, it seems, let me click on one of the videos. It seems like it's available for free. I'm gonna click on a video, then I can tell you right now. Yeah, it popped right up. Let me see, my computer's running slow. Like a bridge over troubled waters. Yep, seems like you can watch it for free right on abc.com if you're interested. All right, I'm gonna give you the last little bit of news that I wanted to share with you, and you all let me know what y'all think about this, because y'all, this one was off the chain. So, whoa. So let me find my sheet. Okay. All right, y'all. So I was listening to this as a news report, and then I did some further research. So you all, there is a artificial intelligence tool called Historical Figures Chat. It is available on Apple's App Store, where you can chat with individuals who are deceased. These individuals, as the heading Historical Figures Chat notes, these figures, or these deceased individuals, are those who have made a significant impact on history. Hidden Figures Chat. I don't know, I'm sorry, historical. I'm thinking about a Hidden Figures movie. Historical Figures Chat. As I was reading this particular article on Rolling Stone, on their website, it noted, it showed screenshots of some of the chats that happened between individuals who were actually chatting with these historical figures. You can go back and read the article for yourself and actually see the information from the screenshotted. I'm gonna say it's chat because it looks like a chat. I mean, it's a chat app, so it looks like text messaging is what it looks like. So it shows the message that you send to ask them questions, and it shows them reply back. You all need to read some of the, like, go on if you're interested, go on and read like some of the screen, like it's interesting. Anyway, on the article, there were 3 individuals who were spoken to. It was Tupac Shakur, a writer named Ayn Rand, and Osama bin Laden. So anyway, I didn't look to see if it was a writer, the writer of the article who actually was doing the chatting, or if it was other members of the Rolling Stone, family or company. But what ended up happening was the information that Osama bin Laden, Ayn Rand, and Tupac Shakur gave back to them in their deceased state, some of the information was inaccurate. And so individuals have been questioning the accuracy of this particular historical figures chat. On the chat, it says there's about I'm gonna leave that there. Okay, y'all can go read that for yourself. A 25-year-old Amazon employee named Sinhat Chadha, forgive me if I am butchering your name, Siddhant, Sidhant, Chadha, Chaddha. He is the one that developed this historical figures app. And I as I was reading the article, because it was a pretty long article, he's looking to make some updates, changes. We don't know if he's gonna do that now or later or whenever the case may be, but he has acknowledged there may be a few, hiccups within the chat. And let me see, I'm making sure, see if he's got some plans or when it says he might be working on it. So it doesn't say when, let me see. It doesn't say if or when. I know I feel like because it, like I said, it was a long article. So he does note there are a couple of things I can do today to improve factual accuracy. He didn't say what those changes could be. He didn't say if he would make the changes. But to me, this is an acknowledgement that you see that there's some inaccuracies with the information. Because as I was reading, I was like, that ain't right, that ain't right. And I was like, oh, I need to look that up. So I don't know if that part's right or not. Some stuff with Osama bin Laden, I didn't know if some of the chat was right or not. But anyway, it is some inaccuracies there. And so I just thought that was even interesting that an app has been developed for me, you, and whoever wants to talk to historical figures that are deceased. Would you all want to talk to historical figures that are deceased? I don't necessarily want to talk to nobody dead in no chat or otherwise. I don't want to. But as I was continuing my research, y'all listen to this. So don't answer yet. Y'all listen to this. In 2017, in April 2017, so I was reading this report. This report came out in 2021, but in 2017, in April, Microsoft was granted a patent for a chat box that will allow you to have conversations with a past or present entity, such as a friend, a relative, a celebrity, a fictional character, a historical figure, an acquaintance. They patent this particular AI, I'm going to call it artificial intelligence technology, but they have not followed through with making this particular chat box. And according to, I think their CEO, according to their general manager of their AI programs, they don't plan to move forward with this particular artificial intelligence technology. So if y'all not looking to move forward, and maybe they patent it to make sure that nobody else can access it, because that's, you do your trademarks and your patents to make sure that nobody else can steal your original idea or your trademark, which is your brand for your company, your business. So I get why they went through the patent process, but doggone it, why? Like, why? So this is how, if they were to move forward with this particular AI, I'm gonna see if they have a actual name for it. Just as chat box. All right. So this is how this engagement or interaction would happen between you and the individual. They will take social data, like your social media post messages, voice data, written letters from that particular individual in order for you to chat with them and engage with them. What they would do is they would, hold on, let me make sure I'm reading this right. Okay, let me go back to the first page so I can get this right. So the report from Rolling Stone says the data would be used to train a chat box to chat and engage with whoever it is. So they would take this social data to inform this chat box, and that information would be used to help you engage with or have a conversation with this either alive or deceased person. Somebody got too much time on their hands. That's all I got to say about that. Somebody got too much time on their hands. This is a quote from the article I was reading. Conversing in the personality of a specific person may include determining and or using conversational attributes of the specific person, such as style, diction, tone, voice, intent, sentence dialogue, length and complexity, topic and consistency, as well as some other, behavior attributes. Age, gender, different things of that nature. And that's why the patent shares that information. Share the patent. This information is included with the patent that Microsoft applied for. Again, their general manager of AI says they don't have plans to move forward with this particular AI, but I can almost promise you they might in the future. I also found this other equally disturbing information. So Deep Brain is an AI, artificial intelligence, human video synthesis company in South Korea. These folks have a actual service called Rememory. So it's RE, semicolon, MEMORY, semicolon memory. And it uses a machine. I got this, where did I get this information from? Let me see if I wrote it down. Okay, I didn't write this one down. But they have this particular machine processes photos, clips from recently deceased individuals, and it creates what they call a digital twin. And it gives you the ability to interact with this deceased individual via a video call, as if you were talking to them on a video call. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? It takes this information, photos, clips from a recently deceased person, and it creates a digital twin based on this article that I read, and it allows you to have interactions, engagement with them as if you're video chat, or as if you are on a video call. Woo! The service is expected to cost, so this was recently released, recently showcased. It was recently showcased at the Consumer Technology Association event. This happened in Las Vegas. And the service is expected to cost between $12,000 and $24,000 to create the virtual person, and it will cost you $1,200 each time you would like to engage with this person. I don't know where they get their money from, but they might be a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company. So I gave you those 3 pieces of information about artificial intelligence, and I would like to ask you, would you want to take advantage of any of these technologies in order to talk to a deceased person? I do not even a little bit. Not even a little bit do I want to talk to anybody that the Lord has already called home, or that is no longer present with us in the flesh, meaning they deceased, they have passed on. As much as I love my grandmother, I don't want to talk to her until I get the glory. And praise the Lord, I hope I recognize her and she recognizes me, and we can chat it up, but I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to talk to her. What y'all think? How y'all feeling about it? Would you all want to talk to somebody who's deceased, a loved one, a friend? Y'all hit me up. Let me know what y'all thinking about it. You can add it to the live chat. You can put it in the comment section later. I don't want to have nothing to do with none of it. Like, to me, people's got too much time on their hands. Like, I'm not knocking anybody's interest or how they make their livelihood, like how they the career that they've chosen and how they take care of themselves and their family. But there are so many other things I'm feeling like that can be done. Is where my mind is. Like, wow, artificial intelligence. Have you all ever seen the movie I, Robot? I don't even know when I, Robot came out, but it came out whenever it came out, some years. I'm thinking maybe the early 2000s. But Will Smith is the main character in I, Robot, as well as the robots, and the actual I, Robot. And so it is a world where robots are coexisting with human beings. And it's a good movie. It's good. I'm not gonna give it away in case you really, if you want to see it. But All I know is I do not want to use artificial intelligence to talk to nobody who has passed away. That's just how I'm feeling about it. Now, I know that we have had conversations about if I could speak to someone who has passed away. I have had those conversations with people. And if I could speak to anybody who has passed away, my at the top of my list is Malcolm X. I can't tell you why, but I just would love to sit at his feet and just listen to him speak. I would love to hear the life changes that occurred in his life before his assassination. Like, I would love to just sit and hear him. I will never be able to do that because he's passed away. So I would never be able to, like, on this earth, sit at his feet and listen. I mean, I can go back and I've listened to him, his videos, his speeches, his conversations, his interviews on YouTube. But, of course, I never, but if that was possible, of course, this artificial intelligence makes that possible, but it's just not possible. I'm gonna do like Secretary of State, former Secretary. He was not Secretary of State, was he? Yes, former Secretary of State Pompeo. I'm gonna do like he did with the 1619 project. He says, I reject it. I reject this artificial intelligence. I ain't gonna be able to talk to nobody to see. But he really would be the one that I would want to have a conversation with. So anyway, that is all of the news that I have to share with you. I do want to share just a little bit about sickle cell anemia because we did have a conversation at the start of January that January is National Blood Donor Month. So it is a month that was designated by Richard Nixon on December 31st, 1969. He signed a proclamation to declare that January would be National Blood Donor Month in order to encourage individuals to donate blood, as well as honoring those who consistently give blood to save the lives of others. And so I talked a little bit about blood donations being necessary for many with sickle cell anemia, or for some, I'm not sure if it's all with sickle cell anemia, but those who have, let me say it like this, those who have sickle cell anemia to get the blood transfusions that they need. And as I was listening to the news report and even reading, there is a low donations from Black people giving, there are low numbers of Black people donating blood. And so, of course, with your blood, you match with your blood type, but getting blood from somebody of the same culture is very helpful as well. And so, yeah, so if you can donate blood, if you're not able to donate, you can always donate money or donate your time to support those who are giving blood, or to support that that entity, that drive, the American Red Cross. And so I pulled up, I wanted to give you a little bit of information about sickle cell anemia, which I remember when I was growing up, you all, there was a lot of conversation about sickle cell anemia. It was very it was talked about in my community, especially it being a disease that is prevalent in Black people. And it was a lot of children. It seems like growing up, I feel like a lot of children at my school, or just in the community, or just that I knew about, have sickle cell anemia. And actually, one of my cousins, her friend at 16, Tanya, she passed away from complications due to sickle cell anemia. And they were best friends, have been best friends for a good little while. And I knew her, spent time with her and my cousin. So it was hard for me, not as hard as for my cousins, because they were best friends, but I remember going to their funeral and there was so many people there. And I actually left out because it was tough. The funeral, that was hard. It was hard. It was hard, y'all. And so I remember, when they showed her body, which I didn't, I think I left out then, because I just left out. And so it was tough at 16. And So let me give you a little bit about sickle cell anemia, just so we can have the information, because even though it's not talked about as much as I remember it being talked about when I was younger, it is still a illness, a disease that affects several hundred thousands of people today. And so sickle cell anemia is one of a group of inherited disorders known as sickle cell disease. It affects the shape of red blood cells, which carry oxygen to all parts of the body. And so I'm actually on the Mayo Clinic. I like to go to them for information about health things as well as the CDC. So I got the CDC's website pulled up as well. So our blood is round and flexible. It makes it easy to flow through the blood vessels within our body. But somebody who has sickle cell anemia, their their blood their red blood cells are round and flexible. That makes it easier to travel through our blood vessels. Woo, I'm gonna get this right. But those who suffer from sickle cell anemia, their red blood cells are a sickle shape, or the shape of a crescent moon, sickle shape, and it makes it difficult for those sickle shaped blood vessels or red blood cells to quickly and safely and free flowly move through our blood vessels. And they oftentimes get bunched up together, which can cause great pain for someone who has sickle cell anemia. In addition to that, let me make sure I got all of that. Also, those sickle cells, they become rigid and stiff. Like I said, they kind of bunch together, and it could either slow or block blood flow. And again, that's very painful because if your blood is not flowing throughout your body is not getting the oxygen it needs, because our red blood cells also carry not just blood but the oxygen to throughout our body. And so if you have oxygen not getting to certain parts of your body, things can begin to shut down. And again, there's some pain happening um, because of the slow flow or the blockage. And so some of the symptoms of anemia, or some of the symptoms of sickle cell anemia, is anemia. So oftentimes those who have sickle cell anemia, they go in for blood transfusions. There are periods of pain um, that happen with those with sickle cell anemia. Pain can be intense, can last for a few days, a few hours, or a few days. Some people have what is considered pain crises um, throughout the year, like a few pain crises throughout the year. And then there are others who have dozens of pain crises, throughout the year. So it's rough, y'all. If for individuals who have that pain crisis, they do have to stay in the hospital so that they can be taken care of. There is swelling of the hands and feet for those who have sickle cell anemia, frequent infections because sickle cells can damage the spleen. There are also some issues with the vision. You can have some vision problems, sickle cell anemia, and sometimes delayed growth or delayed puberty. So yeah, you all, if you feel like if you feel like you're having symptoms of sickle cell anemia, or if your child is having symptoms of sickle cell anemia, it is recommended that you seek emergency care for symptoms of stroke, which might include confusion, difficulty walking or talking, sudden vision changes, unexplained numbness, severe headache, one-sided paralysis, or weakness in the face, arms, or legs. So you all, if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, make sure that you see a doctor so that they can help you get better. There is no cure for sickle cell currently. There are treatments that can support those with sickle cell anemia, but at this time, there's no cure. Some of the complications: organ damage, pulmonary hypertension, stroke that we just talked about, acute chest syndrome, leg ulcers, the blindness that we just talked about, could be complications with pregnancy, as well as some gallstones, as well as others. And it is known that sickle cell is genetic. Let me see if I can get which chromosomes. Um, I'm gonna let y'all look that up. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all look that up for yourself because sickle cell is hereditary and it deals with genes, particular genes, and it's a lot. Like I'm looking at the CDC website right now, and it's a lot. So I want you all to look it up for yourselves. Let me see if I can do this quick fact check and give us the information that we need about sickle cell anemia. Again, this is something that you can look up for yourself. All right, so it does say that more than 95% of newborns with sickle cell disease in the United States will live to be adults. So that's good news. Some ways that you can improve your quality of life and have a longer life if you're suffering with sickle cell disease is getting regular checkups with your doctor, following the treatments prescribed by your doctor. Try to prevent infections by, washing your hands, keeping yourself as clean as possible, and then practicing healthy habits like drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water each and every day and eating healthy. So those are some ways that you can manage your sickle cell disease in particular. All right, let's see. There are a few clinical treatment guidelines that are mentioned here, but again, you can look up this information for yourself. So yeah, you all, let's take care of us, right? I think there might be one more thing that I want to share with you about sickle cell. Nope, that's all. I'll just let you can look up the rest of the information for yourself. All right, you also, that concludes our. Oh, I did want to note you all that I already mentioned blood transfusions as being one of the procedures that can be used to prevent complications or to treat the complications, but also a stem cell transplant, also known as a bone marrow transplant. That's how I knew it as a bone marrow transplant. But that can support a person with sickle cell anemia. It involves, of course, replacing the bone marrow affected by sickle cell anemia with healthy bone marrow from a donor. So yeah, you know, and it is noted here. I know I said there's no cure for sickle cell anemia, but let me stand corrected. A stem cell transplant is the only known cure for sickle cell anemia. So it's the only known cure, having that bone marrow transplant or stem cell transplant. Okay, all right, y'all. So I am done with the news for tonight. Oh gosh, y'all, that artificial intelligence, it took us off in left field somewhere, but it's all good. It's good for us to have this information so we know what is going on in our world, so that we know some of the ridiculousness that is happening in our world today. I wanted to look up cloning because I think there are some. I don't even want to go there. Some clones have been. I'm just gonna say people got too much time on their hands and leave it there. Y'all, I do have just a few announcements that I want to share with you. And so you all know that Be Free Ministries, we are hosting a series of teachings for this 2023 year. And so our first teaching already took place in January when I taught us about the me in 2023, getting your restoration, getting your regeneration, getting your whatever your re is that you need, getting that. And so I want to share with you next month, excuse me, you all, next month on February 9th, we have a teaching called Thriving in My Relationships, Family, Friends, and Coworkers. Oh my. It's going to be taught by Lady Kathy Russell, a friend of mine, and I'm really excited to hear what she has to share. We're going to take some questions and answers after her teaching. So if you have questions about relationships, your coworkers, your romantic relationships, your friendship relationships, you do not want to miss that teaching on February 9th right here on the Stephanie Humphrey channel at 6:30 p.m. All right, y'all, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. I did have one other thing to share with you all. Oh, you all, you know what? Let me share this with you really quick because I think, or no, I won't. I won't share it. I'll just let that be. Have you all been participating in the 12-month challenge? I remember our 12-month challenge that relates to our Read Me in 2023. So this month we were to donate blood or donate money or help somebody who wanted to donate blood, volunteer. If you weren't able to do that, our challenge was to call a friend or a family member who you haven't talked to in a while. So I have not donated anything yet. I have a few more days to go, but I have talked to a friend that I haven't talked to in a while, and I have another friend that I haven't talked to since early last year. It's almost been a year since we've like physically talked. Like we've been we've text messaged each other, but we haven't even texted in a little while. And so I'm gonna reach out to her and talk to her, see how her and her family are doing. And so I know I'm gonna be doing that for this month, before this month ends. And so you all don't forget, a matter of fact, I'm gonna put the challenge in the chat so that you can have it, and I'll add it to the description later so that you can have that as well. If I can get my spelling right, I'll be good to go. Yes, indeed. All right, y'all, and the last announcement that I would like to make is, well, I actually have two. So you all, you can get my new book, my newest release, a long time coming, the trilogy, books 1, 2, and 3. It is about Veronica Bailey and her journey from graduating high school up to adulthood. It is a mess, you all. You all know I did the book released in October. My mom and my uncle were up on my show, and we talked about it. And I thought about doing a part 2, but I was like, no, because I don't want to give anything away. So maybe later this year, or maybe the start of next year, we'll come together and talk about it again, or maybe not. I just didn't want to give too much away. I want you to read it for yourself, but maybe we can have a book study or something like that. I'll see how it goes, right? All right, so don't forget, you can go on my website at determinepublishing.com to purchase a long time coming trilogy, books 1, book 2, book 3. Also, I'm celebrating 15 years in my business, Determined Publishing Company. So to celebrate, starting next month, February, I will feature a book of the month. You can get this book for 40% off. I think I'm only going to do 1 week per month, but you can get Our Arranged Marriage next month for 40% off. It was actually released on February 14th, 2014, February 14th. So I thought it would be befitting to have this as our first book. This is about Thomas and Grace. They were childhood friends, went their separate ways when they graduated from high school, but they have news from the grave of an arranged marriage, and it is good. It's a good reading. So I wanted to share that with you so you can join me in celebrating my 15 years in business as a small business owner, Black-owned business, determinepublishing.com for more information. Look, you all, those are all the announcements that I have. I do want to encourage you to be well, to stay well, to take care of you, to take care of your family. Most importantly, just love you. Show yourself some grace. Show yourself some compassion. Be gentle with yourself so that you can be gentle with others. Okay, I will see you all next Thursday. It's going to be the 4th Thursday, ain't it? Actually, it's going to be the 1st Thursday in February. Black History Month is next month. I will see you all February 2nd. And we'll have some Bible study. All right, y'all. You all take care. Be blessed, and I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to like this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notifications so that you know when I'm going live. All right, you all take care and be blessed.